All right, so today we're really diving into Warren Buffett's style of investing. We're going deep on this book, Warren Buffett's Ground Rules, and it really breaks down how he made all his money. You want to make smart investments right? Well, who better to learn from than the Oracle of Omaha?
What's interesting about Buffett is he really doesn't fit that Wall Street image. He's not a flashy billionaire.
No, not at all. The book makes him out to be a guy who's way more interested in the long game instead of just trying to make a quick buck. Kind of refreshing, honestly, especially in the world of finance. It seems like everyone on Wall Street's always chasing the next big thing.
Yeah, he's like a marathon runner. Everyone else is sprinting. Buffett really makes you think differently about what it means to win in the stock market.
So that strategy is all about finding the hidden gems, right? The book mentions how he looks for those undervalued companies that have huge growth potential, almost like finding a diamond in the rush. How does he actually do that, though?
He's just got a knack for it, I guess. Seeing potential that other people miss. It's not about chasing the latest trend or anything with him. He looks for companies that have solid fundamentals, a good track record, and something he calls a moat.
A moat. Okay, I'm going to need you to elaborate on that.
Picture a medieval castle. What keeps the invaders out? It's the moat. So in the business world, a moat is basically a company's competitive advantage, the thing that makes it really hard for other companies to compete with them and take their market share.
That's actually a brilliant analogy. So Buffett wants companies that have basically built these protective barriers around their business. What exactly makes a moat strong, though?
It could be a brand that everyone knows and trusts, or some unique tech or process that they use. Even just having access to a market that other companies can't get into is huge. It's about finding those businesses that have that special something that'll keep them making money for years to come.
So it's not even just about what the company does, but how they do it and if they can keep doing it better than anyone else.
Exactly. And that's a key takeaway here. Understanding the businesses you're putting your money into is crucial. Buffett digs deep into their finances, their products, their competition, everything, before he even thinks about investing.
So he really does his homework. It's not just a gut feeling or, getting caught up in the hype. Let's say you found a company that ticks all the boxes, got that sturdy moat and all that. Why is holding on to it for the long term so important for Buffett?
Well, imagine if you'd invested in Facebook back when it was just some dorm room project.
Yeah, talk about a missed opportunity, right?
Exactly. And that's what Buffett's all about. Finding those undervalued companies early and then holding on for dear life. This is where compound interest comes in. He calls it the eighth wonder of the world.
Okay, so for those of us who aren't financial experts, break down compound interest for us. What makes it so special?
Right, so say you invest some money, and that money earns you interest, right? But here's the thing. With compound interest, the next year, you're not just earning interest on what you originally invested. You're earning interest on that original amount plus all the interest it already made. So it's like interest on interest.
Okay, now I see how this all ties together. You find yourself a good company with a solid moat. You invest, and then you let that compound interest do its thing over time. It's not about getting rich quick. It's about letting your investments grow steadily.
It's like you said, that snowball effect. Starts small, but then picks up more snow as it rolls and grows faster and faster. That's compound interest for you.
And you need time to really maximize that effect, right? Just let the investment sit and do its thing.
Exactly. That long-term view is what makes Buffett so different. All those ups and downs of the market, they don't really bother him because he's playing a whole different game.
Like he's looking at a different map than everyone else. No wonder they call him the Oracle. But it can't be easy to think long term all the time, especially when the market's down. Don't you ever just feel like pulling your money out?
Oh, absolutely. We're kind of hardwired to avoid risk and want instant gratification. But that can be a disaster when it comes to investing. Buffett's whole thing is about being detached, emotionally. He always says, be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful.
So you have to be disciplined, basically.
Mhm.
Ignore all the ups and downs and trust the research you've done. Trust those moats you were talking about.
Right, because when everyone's freaking out and selling their stocks, that's actually the best time to buy. Well, as long as you've done your research and believe in the company.
Which brings us to another point, the homework. You said Buffett is super thorough with his research. What kind of things does he actually look for when he's checking out a company? What tells him that an investment is a good idea?
The management team is really important to him. He wants to see good leaders, people who are honest and know what they're doing, and they have to care about the shareholders.
So it's not just about the numbers, it's about who's running the show.
For sure. He also goes through their financial statements really carefully. Like he analyzes their profits, how much debt they have, their cash flow. He wants to see that the company is making money consistently and using its money in a smart way.
So not just profitable, but financially healthy with good management. With all that research, he's got to be stacking the deck in his favor.
He is. And here's something else that's interesting. He's not just focused on one type of industry. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, he's known for liking consumer goods and financial companies, but he's also gotten into tech and energy.
So he's looking for value wherever he can find it, not just sticking to what he knows. Shows how adaptable he is.
Yeah. And that's important because the business world is constantly changing, right? What worked in the past might not work in the future. Buffett gets that, and he's willing to learn and adapt.
That's amazing. It really shows how important it is to keep learning and staying up to date on the business world and how the markets are changing. He's not afraid to be different or even go into industries he doesn't know that well as long as the fundamentals are there.
He's actually said the best thing that happens to us is when a great company gets into temporary trouble, we want to buy them when they're on the operating table. He sees opportunities when everyone else just sees problems.
That's a gutsy move. But it makes sense when you think about how he invests for the long term. He's not looking for a quick turnaround. He's looking for those companies that can survive the tough times and come out even stronger.
Exactly. He's not afraid of little risk. Actually, he sees it as a chance to buy good companies for a discount. But you need to be brave and really believe in what you've researched.
Definitely. This deep dive has really given us a lot to think about. Warren Buffett's approach to investing is more than just some strategy. It's a whole way of thinking. Patience, discipline, really understanding the businesses.
Absolutely. It's about ignoring all the distractions and hype in the market and focusing on what really matters: value, growth, a strong advantage over their competitors.
And never stop learning, right? The business world is always evolving. You got to keep up and be open to new information.
You got it. Learning and staying curious, those are so important for any investor, especially if they're trying to follow in Warren Buffett's footsteps.
This has been incredibly insightful. So to wrap things up, what's the one thing you hope listeners take away from Warren Buffett's ground rules? If they only remember one thing from today, what should it be?
The biggest takeaway: investing is a marathon, not a sprint. Find those amazing companies that have a real edge and stick with them. Let compound interest do its magic.
Slow and steady wins the race. We've heard it here, folks.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the mind of Warren Buffett. It's been great chatting with you.
It's been my pleasure. Happy investing, everyone.
And to all our listeners, we'll leave you with this. If Warren Buffett were starting out today with all the changes in technology and everything, what industries or companies do you think he'd be interested in? Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and remember, knowledge is power.